So today I have with me Daniel Kennedy. He is on the team of Netvrk, an amazing project that deals with VR that we're going to learn a little bit more today. Daniel, or Dan, I'm not sure how you like to be addressed, but can you hear me and are you here?
I can hear you. Thank you for that intro. And wow, what a voice.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
This is fun.
Awesome. Yeah, just call me Dan. I'm glad to be with you guys and discuss Netvrk as a project and also discuss the bigger picture of metaverses and NFTs and where I think everything is heading in that regard.
110%. Yeah, I want to learn about it all, and especially from your perspective, which I think will be very, very interesting. So yeah, I've kind of built you up as kind of an expert in the field, but let us know, how'd you get into the crazy world of crypto blockchain? How'd you get started to where you're ultimately talking to me here today?
Yeah, so I was an early investor in Bitcoin. I believe it was somewhere in the $100, $150 range when I got in. But yeah, that was a long time ago. I think the space has really evolved. And even if you look at the space, sometime in the last 3 years, it's changed so much. You have so many projects that just, ceased to exist just in the last few years. So it's very interesting. Every few cycles, you see like totally new concepts, DeFi. Yeah. Now we have NFTs. Now we have, Metaverse is suddenly, everybody wants to be a Metaverse. Like, talk to my, uncle's neighbor and they're turning into a Metaverse. So it's like,
well, I love how all this has evolved though. Like you said, you started as just an early investor in Bitcoin. And I'm sure at that time, obviously you were some amount of a visionary to be able to just invest then, but it still must have been hard to even imagine where we are now with NFTs and all that. I mean, it's crazy where we are now.
100%. And I think one of the hardest things back then is explaining it to family and getting the family not to think you're crazy when you're saying, I'm getting into this thing called Bitcoin. So a lot of it has to do with social acceptance, right? And, even today, you have so many people that are just like, they don't even want to hear anything, in relation to crypto. But I think, we're reaching a critical mass where people who aren't on board the crypto train are seeing, the light. And, I think it's really, interesting, as far as like how the world has evolved in accepting crypto.
They have, and that will become more and more commonplace, I think, as this generation now that's kind of grown up in a crypto world can become more and more accepting. And certainly things like getting into gaming or metaverses and things like that can grow that. So using all this experience that you kind of came across of being an earlier investor in Bitcoin, I'm sure you're motivated to see Netvrk become a success, not just because you're so, it's part of your day-to-day work. But did you see an opportunity in the market, and I'm talking gaming or VR or just somewhere in the market that you thought you could reach with Netvrk? How did Netvrk basically get birthed, if you will?
Well, I mean, it originally started more as a VR project, right? So we've kind of branched out from that, and we're going to be accessible via PC, mobile, as well as VR headset. So we pivoted away from being VR only because there's really still such low adoption when it comes to VR headsets, right? Sure. So, most people are using either their phones or PCs. So that's just where it's at. So basically, I think the need for the metaverse is a way to bring all these new technologies together, right? You got blockchain, you got NFTs, which runs on the blockchain, and then you got kind of like this new economy thing going, right? And with e-commerce, we have something we're really focused on. We call it e-commerce 2.0. And I'll touch on that. Basically what it looks like is, how do you tie in e-commerce with the blockchain with NFTs and create a more efficient, more accessible, more, rich system that people can really get a new experience than, let's say, like going to a website and just, buying something. I think the technology has progressed enough to really offer a huge advantage to people who want to learn more about certain products, or even like learn about things in general. That's another big focus point of ours is education, the education sector, and how to use the metaverse as a teaching tool. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, you're really speaking my language now, because right before you came on, we were talking about a lot of the utilities that can come from, mainly from VR, but if you're expanding on to PC and mobile, great there as well. Do you see, people literally holding like symposiums or conferences to be able to give education within the metaverse? Is that kind of what you're alluding to?
100%. And we've recently just partnershiped with the University of Cambridge's blockchain association. So they're going to be doing something really fun and cool with teaching people about crypto and the blockchain. So yeah, I think like right now, people are kind of like in the last year or so, right, with the C word, a lot of classes have gone virtual with either Zoom or Google Meet being used for classes. And I think, it's kind of, a lot of people don't like that for whatever reason, or it's kind of reached its limit as to, what it could provide utility wise, right? There's only so much you can do in a video conference environment to help learn or teach students. So I think the metaverse, offers so much more in that kind of environment for students of all ages, whether they're elementary school students or university students. I mean, imagine like what kind of demonstrations you can have for physics or science in that kind of environment, and really, bring another layer of learning, so it's just not somebody talking to you in a video screen and trying to explain a concept to you. I think that's kind of where we're headed.
I'd love to hear you say that. And I'm glad that maybe it's just where our conversation has went towards education. But okay, so in another life, I dealt a lot in the healthcare world and explaining medications to people and things like that. And especially for students to be able to understand the concept of diabetes or how a medicine works, you almost have to like live there amongst the cells, amongst the drug itself to see how it works. And I've always thought that what you're kind of, this metaverse idea could really help that. If I could see, the gate open and all of a sudden insulin gets into the cell or, something like that. It sounds to me like that's exactly what you're wanting to do, but take me a step further of what Netvrk is. Is it a metaverse, or is it tools to build a metaverse to whatever the user wants it to be?
Yeah. Why not both, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So it's both. It's a metaverse. So it's a platform where people can, access infrastructure to visit all these great projects. And that's one of our jobs, right? Is to connect people to projects, to brands, to companies, and kind of sort of like serve as a directory, kind of like a directory in the matrix, so to speak, right? And then we also have these great tools like our sandbox creation system, which lets people create their own games, their own experiences, their own assets, and then mint those as NFTs, list those in the marketplace, and monetize their content, So we're doing it all. We're serving as a directory, and we're also giving people the tools to create their own content. And we like to liken ourselves to the YouTube of, this new Web 3.0, and give people the ability not just to, view it, but actually be a part of it and create something and make some money while they're at it. Yeah.
And how would the make money work? Is it through assets like NFT creation, or is it through like course creation for education, or is the answer again, like you said, all of that?
Yeah. So to answer that question, we kind of have to look at the big picture, and let's talk about NFTs. So right now, everybody knows NFTs for, CryptoPunks, Subducks, all those, cool little graphic thingies that you have in your wallet and sell and trade on OpenSea, right?
Sure.
But, yeah, so that's kind of the phase we're in right now. But I think in a year or two, we're going to start seeing NFTs, in every part of our life. And it's kind of hard to imagine right now, but what if NFT came with your next car purchase, right? Or what if you got an NFT when you bought a plane ticket? And I think if you look at the technology of NFTs, you have everything there. You have an immutable record keeping system, right? So it'll serve as a great way to see when you purchase something, where you purchased it. It's also can serve as chain of ownership, right? Like for cars, for instance, you have things like Carfax, which you have to access to see who owned this vehicle. But with an NFT enabled type car ownership system, you'd actually be able to see all that in the blockchain. So I think like NFTs will be everywhere. You're talking about cars, you're talking about high end fashion. When you buy a Rolex, maybe that's has an NFT tied to it, which will serve both as as a certificate of authenticity. Also as a receipt, and also as a chain of ownership. And I think that's where we're headed, right? So going back into your question, how do people monetize their creations? You have these great tools that allow you to either create an experience or create a game or create an asset in this sandbox environment. So then you can actually mint that as an NFT and then list that for sale in the network marketplace. And then you could move that to a third party marketplace if you wanted to. So you're able to convert it to a medium that other people can purchase with, right? An NFT. And then those people can either deploy it on their virtual land or use it, So you're making a way for people to purchase these intangible things, which I think is, a big step to get people, really being part of this play to earn, right? It's play to earn, but it's more of like a meta play to earn concept. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, you've definitely, at first you said, almost like the YouTube of this world of the metaverse where people could, get monetized by this. And I'm starting to really see that as you talk about the different things. I mean, if I wanted to make an escape room or relive, the crash on the Titanic or something like that, that is possible through your tool. Is that correct? I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, 100%. And we're talking with some really famous architects. We already have several on board who are actually bringing the CAD drawings of their famous architecture into Network. So you'll actually be able to purchase these great works of art, right? Art exists in many different fields, not just, paintbrush or drawn art. There's also architecture as art. So you could actually buy this art in the form of architecture, deploy it on your land, and enjoy it from a first-person point of view. Imagine the experience of, say going in the Eiffel Tower or, other famous buildings. So I think we're just like scratching the surface of what is really possible with all of this.
Undoubtedly scratching the surface, because even as I'm just sitting here speaking with you, I think, has he thought of this or has he thought of this? And I'm sure you or somebody else has, because really it's the possibilities truly are endless. So this is a huge project, and it's not just you behind this. How big is your team? I see quite a few people listed on your website, but how many individuals are part of the network team?
Yeah, good question. We're up to over 35 people currently, and our website is in need of an update, right? But yeah, we're over 35 people, and we have some really great talent. I'm most excited about right now, our new NFTs will be unveiling this week, which are designed by John Park, who's a famous designer. And he's worked on movies like Star Wars, and he's currently working on Avatar 2 with James Cameron. And he's designing our new NFT line of vehicles, yachts, and jets. So we'll be unveiling that this week, and there's some really cool designs, I must say. So we have
How much are those going for? How much? I mean, I know how much a real world yacht costs, but is it very expensive for a yacht and a jet?
So this is a bargain compared to a real world yacht. Yeah, it's going to be somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 USD for a yacht, which is one of the rare vehicle transportation NFTs you can own. But we also have stuff. We have things like motorcycles, so that's only a couple $100. So there's definitely something for everyone.
I sense the scale now. Yeah, if it's a couple $100 for a motorcycle, then it would be, like you said, $30,000-$40,000 for a yacht. And this is my one chance probably to own a yacht, because I don't know that I'm going to have real world yacht money. But that's pretty cool that you can do that. And you got a pretty good team for this. It sounds like what'd you say, 35 or 40 people. Undoubtedly, to get to all your goals over time, as the business increases, you probably will have a need to increase your team. Is that what you're looking to do?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. Yes and no. I've seen some great projects operate with a smaller team, and then I've seen some projects have hundreds of people and not really be able to accomplish a thing. So, yeah, it's definitely just like a delicate balance.
Yeah, you just want to be efficient, not necessarily big. And
I'd rather have one really great person than 10 mediocre people on the team, and it's easy. It's really easy to hire people just to fill up a seat and not get anything done or not get anything quality done. So we're focused on quality first here.
Just get stuff done. I like that.
Yeah.
So before we're about to take on questions from the audience about Netvrk, but before we do that, what's the best way to keep up with just the latest updates about your project?
Yeah, the best way is Twitter and Telegram. And Medium. If you follow those 2 or 3 places, you'll get everything.
Awesome. Great way to keep up with almost all projects. Twitter's such a good medium for that, as is Medium. And then Telegram, obviously, is just a good place for good conversation and things like that. So no different than many other projects. So make sure you give them a follow on Twitter, as well as join the Telegram over there and say hi and say you're from the MoonWilly community over there. But we appreciate you being here. I'm going to talk about MoonWilly for a second, Dan. And in the meantime, I'm going to open up for the rest of the MoonWilly community to ask Dan a few questions about Netvrk. This is your chance to be able to ask questions that maybe I didn't ask, or you wish I would have asked, or you wish maybe you've got a better way to word it. But in case you're new here, this is the MoonWilly.com podcast. MoonWilly is a auto rewards token that will take 8% of every transaction and convert it into the stablecoin DAI. And whenever it converts it into DAI, it's then redistributed amongst the holders of MoonWilly. So if you hold more MoonWilly, you get more of that 8% redistributed to DAI. There's a roadmap there on moonwilly.com where you can see a lot of the things that are planned to come forward in the future, because Kevin, the founder of the MoonWilly token, is not just content with just coming out with an auto rewards token and then walking away. There's always development happening. And then also we do this this voice chat right here at 1800 UTC to be able to talk about crypto, talk with some great founders of tokens, just like this AMA right here. MoonWilly community, do you guys have any questions? I was expecting my little chat right there.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Telegram is having problems right now with the chat. Ooh. If you're trying to send a message, it doesn't work. So they've turned from call problems now to messages problems.
To messaging problems. I see. Well, Dan, it sounds like we're not going to be able to get any conversation from the community here today, which is unfortunate. But hey, technical problems happen, right? These things.
I was noticing Telegram having some issues, and I restarted my computer and all that stuff. But
it's just the fun of technology, right? Is sometimes things go well, sometimes things don't. But hey, at least they can hear us. And
I see some questions popping up here. Okay.
Oh, you do? Because I don't. So I'm glad that you do.
Okay, what is the total supply of tokens? So it's 100 million tokens, and Okay, what is the total supply? Can you share detailed tokenomics? You can go to tokenomics.netvrk.co and see the full tokenomics sheet. I'll actually put that in the chat so you guys can see that. There you go.
Yeah, that'll be great.
All right, and let's see. Wow, so many questions. Okay, how do you start investing?
Came up at once.
Yeah, how do you start investing in the very difficult and new NFT space? That's a good question. I mean, find the project you like for its intrinsic value, and don't always go towards the hype. There's so many NFT projects coming out on a daily basis. I think my Discord, I get like 10 spam messages a day inviting me to the newest, greatest NFT projects. So there's too many today, right? So really try and focus on, what resonates with you and what you see as having value. Okay. If we just hold network tokens, can we generate NFTs for free? So in the Sandbox editor, you pay with network tokens in order to mint your assets. So it's not free. You're using the network tokens as basically a currency to mint these NFTs. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for listing some of your achievements, but can you please share your current roadmap? Yeah, so we'll be releasing our MVP by the end of the year, and then our platform will be live by Q1 of next year. And then you could
Q1
also,
of next year. You said you'd be live by Q1 of next year.
Correct. And then there's a lot of information on our white paper, so I'll link that as well. Just put that in there. Okay. Oh my God, there's like 50 questions. Okay.
It sounds like everybody was typing and they didn't go through, and then all of a sudden they all went through.
Yeah.
Right.
Dan, you only have 5 questions, and before you say the question, do you want to say the name of the person's question you're I guess answering, so we can find them and we're with them afterwards.
Okay, got it.
We just need
okay, so I'm looking for quality questions is what you're saying.
Then you're good.
Okay.
Well, also, I think he was saying just say the name of the person that is asking the questions.
Right.
That way we can make sure they get rewarded.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Jason, just a moment here. We are, doing a live AMA here. If you have a question, just type it in text and Dan can look it over. But so far, I think you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may have already asked 5 questions, at least by my count that you have, Dan. So I've got the names of the people that you have on there that you've already chosen. So I appreciate you doing that. You've been really good at answering a lot of these questions that they've asked, as well as just my questions. Before we let you go, is there anything else about Netvrk that is, unknown to us? What do we need to know about Netvrk? Because I understand that it's a metaverse. I understand that I can create anything and maybe even be able to monetize that, much like I'd be able to monetize Udemy or YouTube or something like that. Is there anything else that you think would be kind of an aha moment to be able to help the community understand exactly what it is that you're offering?
Yeah, so basically what we have is a way to access Web 3.0, e-commerce 2.0. It's basically a layer to bring to life, blockchain technology, NFTs, and, what we're building, wouldn't have been possible a couple years ago. It's because the technology has advanced the way it has that we have, blockchain tech at a certain level, and we have, Unreal Engine providing the graphical, high resolution, to where it's basically photorealistic, with Unreal Engine 5. And then you have NFTs that have progressed as much as they have, and that's obviously based on blockchain technology. So you really have a confluence of all these great technologies that have matured enough to where what we're building makes sense. It's in demand, and it could actually be used to do things that people want to do. There's no sense in building something that people don't want to use. And I think, we're not just looking to create another Decentraland or a sandbox. That's not what we're after. We want to have a quantum leap in terms of what is doable and usable. So we've based our entire platform around what the community has asked us for, what they want to do in the metaverse. And yeah, we feel that's the way to do it. Do it based on how on what the community wants you to build it, and they will come, basically, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here's what I'm hearing is sometimes, YouTube creators, they'll kind of moan about, I wish I would have gotten into YouTube very early on in the process, right? They just wish they would have gotten whenever it was brand new and a lot of eyes were to fewer creators. But this is something that's new that could be the next, the next big thing. And this, if you're listening now or of a creator that would be good for this is their chance to be able to create something in the early stages and be able to get a lot of eyes on it and potentially a lot of people purchasing something if you can create something of value. So that's my thought is this could be the next big thing. Streaming video was a big deal, 10, 15 years ago, but now this could be the next level after this.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think, not only is it like getting into YouTube, when it first started, but it really is, it's decentralized. So it's allowing people to, basically have more control. Big criticism on YouTube has been censorship and, they've demonetized a lot of channels, is a big criticism I've heard. So I think by having this in a decentralized format, right, it's doing so much more. You don't have to really fear being censored. Obviously we want to control, illegal things. So we're not going to allow illegal things, but, it really gives people an open way to monetize their content and not really have to worry about censorship or overreach. So that's a great part of it.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't mind, if you could close us out with a wise word, let's say there's somebody out there that's trying to find their purpose. Maybe they're trying to find what they're passionate about. And if their brand's all over the place, they're going through the woes of life, just the everyday grind. You've been through that grind. You're now running a ambitious project. To that person, what do you say to them? Close us out with a wise word.
Yeah, I mean, find your dream, find your passion, visualize it, and basically carry through. I think, we're at a really great time in history where, obviously we've had big negative things happen with the C virus, but I think that's also given us a big area, that can be built out to, I think basically there's a lot of opportunity. And even though a lot of people, are stuck in a negative mode because of world events like that, there's a lot more opportunity today than there was a year ago. So, yeah, I think just basically follow your dream, follow your vision, and carry through with it and materialize. Yep.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for that answer. And yeah, certainly with Netvrk, they'll have the opportunity to be able to materialize something there on Netvrk. So thank you so much for your time. A little bit of applause for you.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here. Kevin, appreciate you being here. And
thank you, guys.
Anybody else? Hey, yeah, I really do. Your project seems amazing, and this won't be the last time I'm on your webpage. I'm excited about it. But let me tell you how we usually finish the. Oh, go on.
I was going to say I'll definitely join you guys again. Love being on here, and yeah, great show.
Excellent. I really appreciate it. And there was Kevin saying thank you real quick.
Yes.
We do this every day at 1800 UTC, and we stay here for an hour talking about the latest goings on in the crypto world. Kevin will come on here. Myself, the voice of DeFi, Stephen, will be on here as well. And every day we finish with a little silly song. We had a community member rewrite the words to I Want to Be a Millionaire to I Want to Be a MoonWillionaire. It was written by a community member, then sung by another community member, and even had a roommate that did the rap version. So I'm going to play that. There are going to be a few dancing GIFs, assuming that GIFs are still allowed on Telegram this afternoon. But you can see yourself out the door or put your own dancing GIF, but I really appreciate you being here.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, love being here. Can't wait to hear the song. I just put my MoonWilly GIF in there, and yeah, I like to think of MoonWilly. That's like Free Willy's richer, more wise cousin, right?
That's right. That never got trapped in the first place.
There you go.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being on here, and enjoy this song.
Thanks for listening to the official MoonWilly podcast. Don't forget to head to moonwilly.com and learn more about this exciting token.
This podcast is not financial advice. Do not take anything said in this podcast as advice for buying or selling any crypto, stock, index, or other trading tool. You should do your own research or seek the help of a trained financial advisor. This is for entertainment only. The information contained in or provided from or through this podcast is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice,